The book, A Song for Zipporah, written by David Harris, is a powerful historical fiction centering around the life and character of Moses' future wife Zipporah before they met. Book author David Harris brings the reader into the relationship between Moses and Zipporah, which was gradual and lush. The story unfolds beautifully when Moses finally asks Zipporah to marry him. Purchase your copy of the book detailing this authentic story, A Song for Zipporah by David Harris today. It's available online at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com.
At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book.
Hello, and welcome. Hello, and welcome to the Crew Podcast. I am the visionary, Queen Angela, and welcome to Season 2. I want to thank you for tuning in and for all of your support throughout Season 1. We're back, them divas of the airwaves. So thank you for joining us tonight. Share this with someone in your circle.
Basic Black, After Dark, the all-new podcast show with your host, Black Diamond.
Hello, everybody. This is Black Diamond, your host of Basic Black After Dark, and we are here on Season 2 of the Crew Podcast Network. This is the show that meets you where you are and gives you what you ask for. Who would have thought that successful transformation requires an integrated approach that links strategy to transformation, transformation to ambition, and ambition to executional discipline? What executional discipline do you need to have a breakthrough? My guest tonight knows all about breaking through. They are here to teach you how to bounce back. Meet Tawana Tate, a certified pharmacy tech and a self-made boss. Yvette Jefferson, a nurse, realtor, and mentor for girls of Hugs for Life. Crystal Thompson is a realist who's going to have her say. And Shamika Hamilton, an Army and Navy vet and licensed clinical social worker, life coach, and youth counselor. Shalonda Inspirational Treasure Williams Leonard is a certified life coach with a focus on mental health support, certified grief and bereavement counselor, inspirational speaker, CEO, media personality with a #1 best-selling book, and last but not least, our visionary, Taisha Bryant, the parent healer, an author, speaker, therapeutic life coach. She is the founder and CEO of We Have a Purpose Incorporated. Welcome, ladies, of Bounce Back to Basic Black After Dark.
Hey
there.
Hey.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have just been overwhelmed with having you here tonight. I've been reading your bios and just anxiously trying to get my questions together for you and what I wanted to ask. And it's just, I thank you. I thank you so much. Taisha, what inspired you to have the vision to create the Bounce Back Conference?
So the year of COVID, for my birthday, I was like, I want to do something. For the month of March, is Women History Month, it's Social Work Month, and it's my birthday. So I wanted to celebrate like in a major way. And it was when I turned 30. So I was like, I'm going to do
Congratulations.
30 women for the month of March.
Wow.
So from that moment, it was like, you know what? This needs to be live. It needs to be in person because not only do I have a story, many others have a story that, that's going to heal and help someone else. So just creating that platform and that space for people who or don't normally speak, who has yet to be on a platform to share their story. I was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. God, I thank you for allowing it to be what it is. And we just kind of flow with it. Last year was our first one, and it was absolutely dynamic. So it's time for 2.0.
So you do have your 30 women for this year, or are you looking at higher numbers?
Okay, so I did the 30 women because it was during COVID. Everyone was at home, so it was virtual. So
Okay.
each week it was like about I want to say about 6 to 7 women on. But now that we are live, last year I had 10 women speakers. This year I'm actually doing 5 because I don't want them to feel rushed. I want them to get out what's necessary without the event being prolonged. Um,
Hmm.
so we have 5 speakers and we also have 3 breakout sessions. So after the speakers
Okay.
speak, they're going to break out and we're going to find out what that heart look like. We're going to let some things go and we're going to learn about self-care. So you get all of it. You get the meat and the potatoes while you're
It
at that
sounds like
event.
it's going to be a wonderful event. It sounds like it's just chock full of so much information, and I employ everybody to go to it if they can't go to it, to listen, to find out how they can get involved for next year. We're going to get into that too. Can you ladies walk us through your career path and share how your experience shaped your approach to success?
Okay, so I guess I'll go
Everybody
first.
can just jump in. This is look, we're open, we're relaxed, we're sitting back, we're gonna be comfortable. It's Friday. Jump in wherever you want to jump in at.
I got you. So I'll go first. For me, it started at a young age. Being pregnant at 13 and seeing my cousins and things of that nature go through the foster care system, I knew I wanted to give back. Our house is always open. Everyone would live with us, whether it was a day, a week, a month, or whatever. And my mom was always a caregiver. She was in the medical field, and I was like, I know I want to help people, but I can't do blood, throw up, and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna be a pharmacist. Yeah, that didn't work. So I met this lady from this program called Tears when I was in high school, and her name is Angelia Walton. And I was like, the program she's doing, I want to do this. So I started working with her right out of high school, and I fell in love with the adolescent population because I was in that point, having a baby at 13 or being pregnant at 13 and having her at 14. I wanted somebody to be what they were to me. So social work was the field for me, and I've been
Yay,
in the
social
social
workers.
service field since I was 18.
All right, all right. I'm in that field. Hey, social workers. So
Yes.
I know it's always a reason that we all get into social work, and some people ask, "What made you go into social work?" It's just like what makes you put on a pair of pants in the morning. When it comes to
Right.
social work for me, so it's just that easy to just want to come into that field, even though we're some of the least respected. But I'm not gonna get into that because I could take this whole show.
Yes.
We're gonna
Exactly.
go
Because
into
it.
that another time, Coach, or either Crystal. Crystal, I definitely got some questions for you too later.
Good, good.
Awesome,
Go ahead.
awesome. Go ahead, Crystal. Go ahead, Crystal. I got to.
No, 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 no. She said coach. I'm not a coach.
Well, not yet, not yet, but okay, amen. Well, I got into this because I'm a love walker by nature, and I think I've always been this person. And then I found out there was a name for it. Kind of like being a prophet and finding out that there's a name for it. You know some stuff. You know why they don't know it. You know it, but they don't know it. So then you find out later there's a name. And so I think it was the same thing for me with coaching, with doing ministry full time. Really, it was my heart for the people and my vision of seeing people suffering, and everybody too busy in their own world to notice. And
Mm-hmm.
so, it's kind of my heart's desire to reach those who literally have some similar stories to mine. I'm very relatable and transparent for that purpose. Probably not your typical apostle for that purpose, because many people need to hear somebody say, like, we get it, and we're not about to beat you down for you to get it. We're going to love you till you so you can heal it. And so it's my passion. It's my world. And even if I didn't have a title for it, I would still be it, if that makes sense.
You have a title. You're gonna come up with one before the end of this show. You have a title. It's in you.
No, listen. I'm when I'm on TikTok, I have this whole thing where it's like, this is the inspirational treasure, aka this person, this person, this person, and I
There you
am
go.
whoever that I am wants me to be to you today. So I take on whatever hat he wants me to put on, and so I do have the titles, but even if I didn't, I would still love it.
There you go. It depends on who's seeing you and for what their purpose is, because everybody that comes to see you, speak to you, enjoy you, and in your company, I could be there. And once I leave you, I've gotten something different from you than the person that's going to come in to see you. So what you are to me will be different than what you are to somebody else, but you're
Yeah,
still that whole
absolutely.
person. So there you go.
Absolutely. Taisha, don't that sound about right? That's kind of what
It
I say all the time.
does. Definitely.
Come on, Crystal.
Hey, I I am Crystal. I don't have many accolades. I don't have lots of things to tell you that I've done. I haven't done a lot of work. A lot of my work was in the streets. So they have names for it, but I'm no longer those things.
We're
So
gonna get into that second
yeah, we
half of the
will.
show. We're gonna get into it.
We definitely, and I hope we do. But look, the thing is, I personally, I'm a medical billing specialist, medical billing and coding specialist. I am also a clinical medical assistant. I'm a mother, a grandmother, a friend, and I am also the host of the Raw Recovery podcast. I came about that through my own cycle of I've been clean almost 13 years. July the 5th will be 13 years clean from cocaine. God
Yes,
did it.
yes,
God
yes,
did it.
yes,
God did
yes,
it.
yes,
God did
yes,
it. God
yes,
did it.
yes.
Okay, so here in my mind, I was thinking, purpose. Okay, I can tell people, how to do this, how to do that, but like what I know for real, people don't want it the way I need to give it, because like you can't talk to somebody about addiction in a clinical way. That's the reason why rehab is a failure. It's just you have to talk to
Wow.
somebody that's actually been on it. And the gift that I have is actually expressing that without guilt, without shame. And once I realized that having no shame was a ministry, I was like, oh,
Go ahead now.
okay. While everybody else lying, I can just be real.
Basically.
Oh my God. And
So
you don't
here
have to
I am.
remember anything either. It's just there.
It's
Absolutely.
what it is. I don't got this sweet story to give you about, well, now I'm this and I became that. And then my children, they have all of these things. And then I don't have that story. I'm sorry. But if you want to be delivered, I am here so you can see that delivery is for you and it is possible. So
Yes.
is sobriety. That is my gift. That is what I do.
Yes.
Okay. See, now she said
Yes.
she didn't have nothing to
Sound
say.
good.
She said she didn't have nothing to say, no stories, no
Uh-huh.
nothing. But we're going to chop it up.
Mm.
I got you. You watch.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Shalonda.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes, inspirational treasure. And I see where you're coming from with that. Many women have lost themselves with pursuing their dreams and letting life lead them or letting go, period. I understand grief has no set pattern. It's expressed differently among individuals. Some are expressive and public with their emotions. Others like to keep their feelings private or bottled up. And others are stuck. They don't know what to feel. How do you know they are grieving? With all of that, how do you know when you're speaking with someone that they're grieving?
Um, well, I would like to say that I know because I'm kind of looking for the signs, but honestly speaking, it's because I am inspired. If that makes sense, God will let me know in the moment. I'm one of those people that you can't really give me fluff and expect me to play with it. You know what I mean? Like we can be having a whole conversation. You could be bouncing around and joyful and happy and skipping and all that. And I'm going to be like, so tell me what's really on your heart.
Yeah, baby.
Tell me what's really on your
Ouch,
mind.
that
What
one
that heart
hurts.
really looking like? Because and I don't do, and I'm not going to do it in a way to embarrass a person. I'm not, I don't want to embarrass you. I just want people to know that there's a place that you can be safe enough to actually express it. And here's the truth is that we've kind of been programmed to stuff things down. Right, to
Mm.
not be honest, to not say this is how I'm really feeling. You can't go to your boss and say I need time, I need space so I can get past this, because you don't really have much grace given in the world. And I do get that. um we have a quota we need to meet. We have a standard we need to set, but we do so much of that we lose track of what people are feeling. And so people just don't say. I don't need to
Mm.
express it, because if I do, I might lose my job. I don't need to say it, because if I do, my family gonna be like, girl, get up and get over it, right? We don't have much a pre allowance to be in grief. Because I
Wow.
will teach people it's okay to feel what you feel when you are feeling it, but we just want to give you some tools, baby, so you can start digging yourself out of it, because you do have the power to do that. And everything that happens in your life is because it's what you desire to either keep or get rid of. So it's a
So
long
can
lesson
grief be
sometimes
prolonged?
to learn. Say that one more time.
Can grief be prolonged or intense?
It can be super intense, and it definitely can be prolonged. Sometimes people feel guilty about not grieving, right? It
And
depends
that's
on
what I
what the
wanted to
situation
ask you.
is.
How
Yeah, they
difficult
feel
is it to counsel someone who feels guilty after grief?
it's not difficult for me at all. It's not difficult for me at all, because I'm gonna be there for the long haul. You know what I mean? Like seriously, if you're on day one, if you're on day 100 and you got to go to day 322, then we're gonna figure out a way to get you from 100 to 322, because love is long suffering. Love
Yeah.
doesn't just give up because it can't. And if there's something that I cannot do, then I'm going to find the person that may be able to help you in the next branch of this thing. I don't encourage everybody to make it seem like they have that quality, but even if you can't, find somebody who can and let them walk at their own pace, because anybody who rushes through something, anybody who's forced through something, it's not ever going to be a genuine healing. It's going to be a
You know,
forced, let me put a mask on healing.
I get that. I get it so much. You're also an author, and you went deep with your titled book, What If God is All of Us? And I'm going to say it
Ah,
again. What if God is all of us? Shalonda, what if God is all of us?
we'll act right. If we really believe that, and when I say act right, I mean, come on, you know how many people we see on a regular basis and we know they're hurting, but instead of us actually be bearing the burdens of one another as we are, many of the people I talk to have a Christian background or some type of religious background. And I don't care what religion you're following, somewhere in them clauses is telling you to love people and treat people well. But those are
Yeah,
some of the
and you're
very
so true.
people who will, you're not doing this and you're not doing that. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, pause 2 seconds, pause 2 seconds. Because if you can pause 2 seconds, you can actually hear somebody talk. You can actually understand that uh,
Yeah.
you may think you have like 5 religions, but you really have a billion different denominations of people who believe different things. And so if I can talk to you and understand who you are, especially if I believe that God is all things at the same time, all the time, you can't be omnipresent and not be with everybody. And so I'm not going to treat you like you're any less than who I am. And so if God is all of us, if we begin to entertain that, we'll be able to walk this walk that we proclaim we want to walk. But if we ignore
So
that, then we're gonna keep stepping on people to get to where we want to get, telling people to shut up when they really
Jeanette,
need to scream.
yeah, one
Yeah.
of one of
Yeah.
our viewers is saying that yes, that's how I feel like I'm being rushed. And when you were
Mm.
talking, I was saying that I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm one of those people because when I know and I'm scared of the Lord. I'm talking about you talking about somebody that's scared. What I do when somebody ain't doing right, I step aside and I go point like that person's right over there. Please don't mistake me for that person for what they said or did. I'll step aside in a minute and people will see me like, what's wrong? Because I'm feeling that we're not together
But
like that.
but
When you do stuff
you
like
know,
that. Mm.
you know what? This is what I learned. I learned that a lot of us we take, and this is no diss to anybody. I don't try to get people not to feel what they feel, but I follow the message of Christ Joshua, which is Jesus in English. And if I follow that path, there's no fear for me in God. I'm not scared of him. I have reverence, but I don't have fear because perfect love casts out fear. And so that's another, walking people through that step, letting them know that they're worth their feelings, letting them know that, yeah, you'll mess up. God made all conditions. He knew exactly what was going to happen with you. This is your process. You got to grow through your process. So let
Mhm.
me help you through your process. The Great Commission is about, again, bearing the burdens of one another. So my question is, what's your burden? You know what I
Mm.
mean? And if I
You
can
talking
I
to me?
carry a little bit of that? Can I carry a little?
You talking to
Huh?
me right now because I said I was scared.
I'm don't worry about it.
I can
Look,
admit
we
that
gonna wait
right
till
now.
another time because I don't have the time tonight. But maybe I'm a
See, now see, this is why you put the N in inspiration. You are truly, truly a treasure.
Oh, amen. Well,
And I
thank you.
know
God
you gotta leave us,
bless.
but I'm going to dig all into you because I'm gonna get your information because we gotta talk. Maybe after I start going through some books
Well,
again
thank y'all
before
for
I feel
having me here.
really
At
bad.
least let me say this before I do go. This bounce back experience for me when I get to go. First of all, I don't know if Taisha mentioned or didn't mention, but she's one of my spiritual daughters, and I feel like if nobody else can show up to say, "Hey, I applaud you," then who else is going to do it? Also, I know what the bounce back looks like in her, right? We've probably been doing this,
Oh
what,
my
8, 9, 10 years. And I know the bounce back in her. And so I feel honored to be able to come and tell my story of sexual addiction or tell my story about, homelessness or tell my story about 5 kids out of wedlock and tell my story about how when I had the 6th one in marriage, I still didn't feel like I was complete. So, we get to tell how we fall down, but we bounce back. And I'm excited to be able to be there for the process. And so it's my humble honor. I can't wait. And I'm honored to be here with y'all tonight. So thank y'all for having me.
Thank you
Thank you. I love
so
you
much
too,
for
Mom.
being here
Love
and
y'all too.
enjoy your evening. And
Thank you.
we're gonna stay in touch.
We gonna do
We're
this.
gonna definitely stay in touch.
Blessings, ladies. Good night.
Good night.
Congratulations on
Thank you
your
so much.
honor.
Thank you. Now, Crystal, the human
Yes.
experience is a complex, multifaceted thing shaped by the countless events and interactions that shape our lives. Crystal Thomas has a story to tell. Y'all heard a little bit of it. It's unique, personal narrative that speaks to the joys, triumphs, struggles, and successes that defines who she is. And she told you about who she was and how she was able to bounce back. So we are fortunate enough to have you here tonight to share your story, a story that needs to tell. You know what? I've been curious because when you said that you have a story, you're not going to say nothing yet, so you wasn't going to send me a little bit more information. What's your backstory?
Well, I'm a country girl. I'm from Arkansas, born and raised. My mother was a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a stepfather, very abusive, completely abusive to my mother and myself and my other siblings. And even through all of that, that molestation happened. Um,
Now, if
gosh.
you're uncomfortable with anything, you do not have
Oh,
to share it
I'm
if you're
comfortable.
so
I'm
uncomfortable.
comfortable with
Okay,
everything. I'm comfortable with everything.
okay,
I can
because
talk about
that's
all of
not
it.
my intent to make you
Oh
uncomfortable.
no, no, I'm okay. I'm definitely not uncomfortable. No, but growing up that way made me hypersexual because that's what happens to a lot of molested women. Some of them turn, they go the opposite way. Well, I found out that men were weak for us. And once I realized that, because to have myself taken all the time, just taken, just violating me, constantly taken, it felt normal to be taken, so to speak. And I got used to that. So after so long of being taken, you don't feel of value. So you don't have a problem giving it away either. So I did lots of that. And to be able to do that, I needed something that was gonna numb the voices, the mind, my mind, the past, all of that, because I couldn't get in tune sexually, for real, for real. I had to have something. And one day I picked up cocaine. I was actually selling it. I was selling crack actually. And to make crack, you need cocaine. So I had some cocaine one day, and it was my 24th birthday. And I decided, instead of weed today to smoke, why not do some powder? And I did. And I loved it. And I fell in love with it. And it was to choose that drug. You don't really, there's not a time, oh, boom, it's time for me to start my coke addiction. That's not how it went. You know what I mean? It happened. I found out I loved it, and it became my friend. I
You're not
wanted
the first
everything
person
off.
that
I wanted
I
everything to be
spoke
off.
to. You're not the first person I spoke to that told me that they loved it. The first time I heard somebody tell me that they loved it, it kind of threw me back, and I was like, wait a minute, did they say what I thought they
Yeah.
said? But
Yeah.
then when I started speaking to them, like I'm hearing you, I
Mm-hmm.
started to understand more of what you're saying. Not that you said it, what you're saying. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned to listen. See, she would be so proud of me right now, even though she left. I learned to listen. I've learned to listen differently than what. And I think a part of it, I'm going to be honest, maybe a part of it was judgmental
It
when I
is.
heard
That's,
it.
you know,
That's what I believe that it really was. I'm gonna be honest about it. Maybe
because
that's
guess
what it
what?
was when I
I wouldn't
first
do
heard it.
that. I couldn't do
And
that.
I guess it was because it was
You know?
somebody I knew that I grew up with, and I wasn't expecting that. So it was a shock to hear it. And I guess I did judge them at that time. But then as they told me, stuff that I didn't know about them, that's when I was listening differently. And I was really happy that they was able to open up to me. I guess they figured I was the person that they could, but I had apologized for the stares that I was giving them. Is like, I guess I was in shock too, because we grew up together. And
But
to
why?
hear that,
But don't mind me asking, why were you in shock?
well, I was young. We were minors, so that was one of the things that I was shocked about, because
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
think children at that time did things like that. We were both. I'm saying, well, that was a different time that I had grown up in.
Some children aren't children. You don't know why they're doing what they're doing.
But that's what I'm saying. So to hear everything that this person was telling me, I was listening differently. You
Right.
understand? Because
I
as
do.
a child listening and somebody's telling you something, you're hearing about the marijuana, and at that time that was supposed to have been the biggest thing as a child hearing it. But when you
Mm-hmm.
started hearing about hard drugs, it just, at that time, it blew me. If I had been older and they had told me about it, I would have probably listened differently. But being a kid listening to it, it just blew me out of the water.
Well, guess what? I get those stares, and guess what I do? I love them. And guess what I do to those people staring? I eat them alive. Because guess what? The truth that I'm telling beat the lie you hiding. I don't have to hide. I don't have to lie, because coke addiction ain't the only addiction. I know fat folks sitting at home can't push a plate back. I know folks sitting at home with
Never
men they
lie.
can't do nothing with, and they stand with them. I know people that can't stop stealing. It's a whole lot of addictions.
Girl,
Oh
Lying.
talk
yeah,
about it, girl.
Lying.
yes
How
it
about the
is.
lying? Can we talk about the lying?
Yes it is.
Treating each other unlike what God told you to do. All of that is ugly. But when God can take me and do what he's done, whether I ever accumulate millions, whether I ever be able to speak before a crowd or anything, he cleaned me up. He proved to me that I was good enough to be on the right standing of where I needed to be. I didn't have to beg nobody to forgive me for my past. I didn't have to, oh, I'm so ashamed. No, I was not. I was not.
Speak, Queen. Jeanette says speak.
There is one thing that I always try to give. The one analogy I give people all the time. If you could get up right now, and this is to you, host, if you could get up right now, forget what money you got in the bank. If somebody told you right now you could get up on a plane, they about to get you a plane ticket. And what's your favorite place? Tell me a place you want to go to. You haven't been. You haven't been there. Where do you want to go?
I want to go to Italy.
Okay. So Italy, every month, every day, you get to take you a flight to Italy to see the sights, feel good, enjoy the atmosphere, all of that stuff, the good stuff, euphoria, right? Cocaine is a trip. If you could get up and go where you wanted to go every day, yeah, I'm getting on that plane. That is how people stay addicted. They don't want to come down and land to reality. It's easy to stay in flight.
Unbelievable.
And when you got people that's going to judge you, like we constantly getting judged, it's hard to stay there. Some people give up the fight to stay sober because of the judgment. Because, well, I could care less about a human being caring anything about what I've done, because no earthling is going to walk me out of my purpose. No earthling can down me. No earthling, not one. You don't get to do it. You don't get to do it. You don't have no right. I don't care where you sit, how high, how low, what you make, what you got. Because guess what? You ain't gonna do what I'm doing. I know, because I talk to everybody every day, and everybody lying about something. I don't lie.
Amen. Yep.
Talk about it.
They do. Oh my God.
That's the
and
first step.
Didn't she tell us earlier she didn't have nothing to say? She said that she didn't have nothing to say.
That's the first step. That's the first step if you ask me to bouncing back. Stop lying.
She said it. She said it. And she said it on this show right here. She said it. She said it all right here.
She said it.
I don't even know where to go with
lying.
that.
If you want to be free, you got to tell the truth.
Because the truth
can't do that with you lying, even though he already know everything. You got to confess it.
Yep.
Say it out your mouth. I'm on coke. I want to be off.
Not many people will do that. Not many people is at that level. But I am so proud of you for doing it. Everybody, I just met her tonight, but it was as if I've been knowing her. With just what she's saying, and it is so true. It is so true to be on the other side. When I say it, because I'm listening again, and I've been listening for, and I don't want to say how long because that'll tell my age, but I've been listening for a while. I've been listening for a while, and every time I speak to someone who's come clean, not with just confession, who has come clean, who's cleansed. Of course, everybody's story is different, but I'm just always in awe of their journey. It's just unbelievable. I learn more.
It's not easy. How about this?
Just imagine.
How about this? Every single day, I think about using. I tell myself no every day. Why? That was my friend. Who liked to break up with a good friend? Who liked to break up with a good friend? Nobody.
Right.
I could literally take all of my problems that I got today, because I got them, and snort them up. And I wouldn't be thinking about nothing, because when I was high, guess what? I was not. The molestation didn't matter. These abusive men, none of that mattered. None of that mattered. I was not myself. But when you come down, you are yourself all the way, plus all the other stuff. So the drug, it doesn't help. It just doesn't help, even though it feels good. The sex with it is amazing. I mean, I can't. I cleaned up everything, like the energy. I had 2 jobs. Like literally, that drug is chosen because of what it does, not because of the outcome. Because of what it does.
I have
That's
2
why
things
people
to say to you.
It's no different. It's no different than people eating sugar.
Well,
sugar is just as addictive as
not
cocaine.
eat too much of that.
Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Did you know that?
See, now I'm not going to answer that because every time I go to McDonald's, I always ask for my tea with 10 sugars and 3 lemons.
Well,
So
you
I'm
get
not
you
going to
get
answer.
more tea from McDonald's
Yeah,
already, sweet.
it you can ask them to put liquid sugar. I ain't gonna go through all of that. You can ask them
It's
for
okay.
liquid sugar, but I always ask them for 10 sugars to put in there. So yes, you're right. It is addictive
So
because I just
Go to God and tell him, I want to be off this tea. I want to be off
Decrease
these
the
okay.
10
sugar.
sugars.
Let's wait until after this weekend because I'm gonna do this weekend. Let's wait,
I'm
and then
serious.
I'm not gonna
It is
promise,
highly
but I might
addictive though.
try that.
But it
I
is
might
highly
try that.
addictive. It's highly addictive. Have you ever
And it
stopped sugar?
is
Have you ever
because when
stopped
they
sugar?
tell me when I'm in the drive-through and they tell me they don't have any, I pull right off, and I get mad too. I'm upset because they
I
don't.
used to get mad
I'm
at the
starting to
dope
get it.
man when he
I'm
didn't
getting
have my
upset
dope
because
too.
they don't have what I want. So to
I used to
relate it
get
to
mad
what
at the
you're
dope man.
saying,
Yeah, I used to get mad at the dope man when he didn't have my dope too, or if it was bad dope. Yeah, so I get it. The addiction, same thing, but nobody wants to look at it like that because the drug addict is low. That's what people
yeah.
think. But baby, I'm sorry. I ain't been there. I'm sorry. I'm never gonna put myself low. Liars. I hate a liar. Liars.
Well, you know what? I have
Thieves.
two things to say to you.
Mm-mm.
One of them is TEDx, where you need to be speaking on stage. And the other one is get in touch with Travita Harris to write that book because there's a book in you.
That
If you
I'm
have it,
already writing. That I'm
I can
already
give you her
writing.
information because she's amazing. So I'm gonna definitely give you her
Please do.
information. They
Please do.
might
And
post it
thank
up in
you.
here. You definitely
Yes.
need to get in touch with her to get that
Yes.
book. And then I give you somebody that can review your book. So I got you right there. I
Thank you.
definitely
I
have you.
appreciate you in advance.
Not a problem. Not a
Look,
problem at all.
I'll put you in my mentions in the
Okay.
Yes.
Taisha, our
Yes, ma'am.
visionary and the parent healer. Now, when you say
Mhm.
parent healer, I've been parenting 12 children, so I know that I have to get in touch with you. You're specializing
Mm.
in parenting and emotional distress. I'm
Yes,
going to need to
ma'am.
speak with you after the show, too. You're the
Okay.
founder and CEO of TNT Legacy LLC. Now, I know what the first T stands for, Taisha. What does the other T stand for?
Well, the first T actually stands for TJ, which is my husband's name, and
Mm-hmm.
I bring up the second T. So it's Taisha and
Okay.
TJ.
Nice, nice. You're partnering with your husband
Yes.
with the focus on the importance of healthy relationships and restoration of community and family services. How can solitude and introspection help our youth and families remain grounded and centered during turbulent periods and emotion periods of emotional heaviness?
Hmm. So for starters, um, I'm going to say it's easily done when the parent gets to the point and be okay with saying F them kids and say it with and mean it. And that F stands for foundation, freedom, and focus. Because once we set a foundation in the family, that foundation is love, respect, and whatever values and things of that nature that's dear to you. You set those from the beginning. I'm talking about when they're 2 and 3, when they start the cussing and all that stuff, and we laughing
Mm-hmm.
and thinking it's funny. Yeah, we got to stop them right there. We got to go ahead and set that foundation. We got to go ahead and set that schedule so they can understand the importance of structure.
Yeah.
So with that, then we build. Because think about it, with the house, we can't build from the roof down. We have to go foundation up. So when we have a solid foundation, we can build on top of that thing. So in order to keep building, we have to be free as parents.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not free, all of our baggage, all of that hurt, all of our depressions, our woes, our molestations, our abuse, our heartbreaks. Okay, he left you. He didn't want to be with you. Now you're a single mama and you taking it out on your kids. Or no, she didn't want you. Now you don't want to pay child support. You don't want to do anything for your kids. Well, my mama and them did this to me, so I'm repeating that same cycle. Once we become free from all of that, then we're able to stand up and focus on ourselves as individuals. We have to get
Mm.
ourselves right. We have to heal within, because what's happening is we are bleeding and it's falling on our kids. So when that happens, there's no peace in the house. There can't be any peace if mama going through it, daddy going through it, or God forbid it's a single parent household. They're going through their own woes. The kids at school trying to figure out, hope I go home today and mama don't have an attitude, or I hope mom and dad ain't fussing today. They done had a bad day at school and they come home trying to talk to mama about it or dad about it, and they're getting fussed at. So it's like, how? It's chaos after chaos. So with those three F's, we're able to have that peace in the home. And with that peace and with that love, we can sit down and have a conversation after school. Hey, baby, how was your day at school? Well, such and such is such and such. Let me just tell you, I know all the tea that happens at Central High School in Phoenix City because my
Mm.
baby gives it to me. I'm talking about I know everything. And what she don't know, when she found out, hot off the press, ooh, mama, let me tell you. Why?
Mm.
Because my child and I have a friendship, and that's what a lot of people, a lot of parents, oh, y'all don't need to be our child friend. But I have a question. Your child first friend. So if you didn't show them how to be a friend, how do we expect them to go out and build friendships with other people? Now, now,
Yeah.
now, now I don't do, well, I can't be around a whole bunch of girls, or I can't do them and I can't do that. That's because you and your mama don't get along. That's because you can't have a conversation with your mama. And I know I'm a country girl. I'm from Pittsfield, Alabama. I know what it feels like when something happens and my mama called all my aunties. Like, dang, sis, now you ain't had to tell them that part. But growing up, we couldn't really say that. But it's like now having that conversation, we have those boundaries. So all of that comes with that solid foundation,
So can you
knowing how to
describe the
communicate.
can you
I'm sorry, go
describe the
ahead.
path of I'm sorry, can you describe the path to hope and healing?
Of course. Um, so with hope, there's this thing it's called faith. And with faith comes confidence. So if I am hopeful that something is going to happen, I'm putting my hope in that thing. It's like, okay, I hope this happens. But even if it don't, I'm not going to fall out with God because it didn't happen. No, I still got faith that something is happening. So I'm going to hold on to this hope because I know there's a healing going to take place.
Okay.
I know there's a breakthrough is going to take place because I already believe it. And I got that
Amen. Amen.
confidence to go with my
Mm-hmm.
faith. Because yes, faith is the key part, but that sub part is confidence. That faith is knowing, hey, that God is going to do it. But that confidence is saying he will do it. I know what he can
Amen.
do. I've seen him do it for others. That's my faith. That's my faith talk. Now I got to put some confidence with that thing. And when I put some confidence with that thing, I know that God will. So I know God will heal my household. I know my family is going to be good. Especially when you blend in families, baby. That is not a microwave type ordeal. That is a crock pot pressure cooker. I
Mm.
had to learn
Yeah.
that. My husband came
Sometimes
into, go ahead.
sometimes we get in the way of keeping up with maintaining our well-being. What suggestions would you have for someone to prevent them from falling back into old habits?
Um, Take time for yourself. Like
Mm.
you have to take time for yourself. That's where that focus come in at. We got to get back to know what makes us happy. Who are we outside of being mommy and daddy? Who are we outside of all these titles? Yes, I have these titles, but baby, they mean nothing. My favorite title is being God's favorite one. So knowing that everything that comes with it, I'm able to say, okay, I know what I like. I know what makes me happy. So I'm gonna take some time. I'm gonna take some me time, and I'm gonna get right real quick. Now, baby, I ain't with it today. I'm not in the best of mood. Being able to verbalize and communicate how I feel to those who
So
are
how can
around
we
me.
facilitate a growth mindset to enhance our motivation?
But start hanging around like-minded people.
Mm. Oh, Oprah
It
always said
start
that.
Yeah, and it first has to start here, and it goes up here to our mindset, because when our mindset is together, then we know, well, dang, I can't keep hanging with them because they keep doing the same thing. I want something different. And not feeling bad for wanting more, not feeling bad for not want to continue to be in the same cycle.
So
We got to
what
get
are
out of it.
some
We
of the
got to change our
most
mindset.
what are some of the most effective strategies that you would suggest to someone who is struggling to bounce back to their initial state of mind? It's like they fell off, they were on the path of doing one thing and then they fell off. And it doesn't have to be because of substances or anything like that for just some reason. Some people, it could be mental health. Some people just check out.
Mm.
I did that.
Um, I did too. I just had a come to Jesus moment the other day, and I was like, God, I'm at a plateau. I feel stuck.
Mm.
Where do I go? How do
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
move from
saying.
here?
When people get stuck, they don't know where to go. They're just
Right.
standing still and life is just going on around them. You can
Life
just
is
see them
life.
standing in the middle and it's just going all around them. So it
So from
becomes an
a
issue for so many.
so from a spiritual standpoint, you got to give it to God, and you have to let
Yeah.
Him know. You have to confess that thing. You got to let even though He already knows, He loves to hear it from us. So once you let Him know, like I said, this is from a spiritual standpoint, but from a practical standpoint, is once you identify that issue, like, dang, this is happening. Now it's time to write it out. Let's go ahead and make some steps. Let's be intentional. So now I'm going to connect with someone who can hold me accountable to get out of this stuck place.
So
So again,
how
surrounding
can
yourself with like-minded people.
with what I'm hearing tonight, I want you to be able to tell us how can you and people that's listening and watching encourage more women and men to join Bounce Back?
Mm. So the bounce back starts with you, because we got to keep in mind we're still going to bounce. Every time something
Mm.
happens, we got to bounce back from it because we are resilient. And resilience is really to bounce back from that thing that could have broken you. So identify what that thing is, figure out how can I get through this? What's stopping me from overcoming? Don't push it to the side. We've done enough of that. We've done enough of putting it to the back of our head and pushing it to the side. We got to face that thing head on. We got to face that obstacle and we got to deal with it. So many
So
times we suppress it.
you heard it tonight here at the Bounce Back Project. These women drop some nuggets. They are tools, they are easy to use, and they can make a difference. And I thank you all for joining us tonight.
Thank you so
You
much,
Thank you.
Dr.
contact Shalonda, Crystal, or Taisha to learn more about how to implement their practices within your team or your office. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter for the latest tools, resources, and events. You could look them up on Facebook. Even
Yes.
in our darkest moments and hardest struggles, we are never beyond God's redemption. Join us on Friday, February 16th. My guest, April Cofield Lambert, shares her journey from crack to Christ. After 8,
Mm,
after dark.
Yes. I will be there for that.
yes.
I
She's
love those
awesome.
stories. I
Yes,
love
be
those
sure to
She's
get
stories.
awesome.
y'all tickets.
I love
Basic
those
Black
stories.
Please get your
After
tickets so
Dark,
you can
the all
come.
new
I'm
podcast
nervous,
show
so you know
with your
already.
host, Black Diamond.